How you guys doing? This is Peter Blade, and today's segment is how to feed 20 people with under $20. Okay, so we begin. First thing we're gonna need for a good party or a good get-together is little appetizers, right? But usually the appetizers usually spoil you the main dinner or the main course. You know, there's always, especially in Hispanic households, you always have like the rice and the pernil and everything is getting done, but for some reason everybody eats at the same time or the plates get handed out at the same time. So what are you gonna do before the plates? Some people purposely restrict their meals because they want to come to the party and enjoy and be grateful and celebrate, right? So this is one trick, one tactic that we can take care of 20 hungry kids with under $20. And the first ingredient, of course, is going to be Wonder Bread. Wonder Bread. Okay, Wonder Bread. You know what? Let's do this beforehand because we're gonna have to take off the edges. I mean, they have the mold where you can take the edges off, or you can do it afterwards. I'll do it beforehand, but you can do it after. Okay? So it's gonna look something like this. 2 slices, right? Okay. Now let's get right to it. First thing we're gonna need is a processor or a good strong fork to hold the food down. Now I went ahead of time and kind of ate some of this earlier, but we have some Spam. Right? Now you know about Spam. You know how to get the block out, right? You just go like this and there we go. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna do here is we're gonna chop the Spam up in little blocks, right? We're gonna put it in the food processor and we're gonna chop it up. By the way, this is called the Ninja. It does just that. The Ninja of food. Okay, so now that we got these little blocks of Spam, the next ingredient we're gonna have is ingredient we're gonna have is Cheese Whiz. Everybody knows Cheese Whiz and how hard it is to get it open. So if any gentleman wants to help the ladies out in the house, ask them ahead of time. Can I open your Cheese Whiz? Okay. I'm gonna have some Cheese Whiz here with the Spam. Okay, now people get all fancy sometimes. You know, they think they're in the real catering charades and they want to add smoked paprika and all of these herbs and spices into it. But we're talking about kids here and a simple get-together, a simple bar mitzvah or a, whatever you want to call it nowadays. All right, you want to put a little bit of evaporated milk. So here's our ingredients. Spam, evaporated milk, and Cheese Whiz. Simplicity at its best. Now, you don't have to, this is optional. This is to make it creamy. I mean, who wants a thin layer of practically nothing? So we're gonna do that. And being that we're dealing with kids, I'm sorry I had to walk away from you guys. I totally apologize. That was my bad on my end, but I had to go to the refrigerator and reach for the relish. Relish is one of the, if not the most important ingredients in la mezcla. Okay, I'm gonna tell you why. Sure, it's a good sandwich, catered for adults, take it up in a spoon, right? And you smear it across your bread, right? But how boring is it for the kids running around the house that haven't eaten anything, right? It's just bland sandwich. So you might want to grab a little bit of relish since it contains sweetness. And you know kids, they are attracted to sweetness. So you want to add a little bit of relish just to change up the mix with a little bit of sweetness. Woo-wee! This never looked so good. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, when I was a kid, I hated these just because this was the only things we basically had to eat. In these type of events, where you know if you from a Hispanic family, you know you have 20 cousins and better. Come on. So we would take a sandwich. You already know about the edges. Edgeless sandwiches. Take off all the edges. It's gonna look something like this. Do this as fast as possible. I like to take the edges off beforehand, but it's probably better you just do it afterwards. Like that, you don't have to throw away the edges. You could just eat it with pieces of the mix on it. Then after you have your squares, this is where we simplify everything and make everybody happy by cutting it into one last triangle. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is how you feed 20 people with under $20. Thank you very much. This is Peter Blade. Adios.